sorry that I can't keep it together. Maybe it's the trauma, or maybe it's the drugs. I can't seem to control my fucking temper. But the problem lies in not being enough. I lost my sense of humor in the battle for my mind. Now I'll slip away with one last puff this time. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my mind. Substance suicide, only time with no regrets is letting myself die. Forgive me for the outburst with your neighbors. My actions don't reflect what's in my soul. I never found the right way to relate or take in and display a better role. The chemicals that shape me are buried deep this time. My family's already given up, it's fine. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my mind. Substance suicide, the only time with no regrets, letting myself die. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my life. The substance suicide, the only time with no regrets is letting myself die. Is letting myself die.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence on this 29 January 2026. And once again, in the year of our shutdown, and man, we're just rolling through this again. Shutdown dumpster fire. I don't know why we're talking about Monday shit on the Sergeant's Time, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Sergeant's Time. New Summer WTF Moments, WTF Nation Radio. I'm Ice, your host. For some reason, that name's got a negative connotation lately, but I'm just saying, well, I've always been called that. Behind the mic, behind the scenes, and now openly out. Out in the mic, of course. In the gunner seat, of course, I have Spanky, but she went on sick call. She went on quarters, so she got quarters, like a pogue. So, you know, like a proud pogue that she is, from another fellow proud pogue. I hope she heals up. And there's a bug going around. Again, I don't know what it is. It's been getting everybody. So again, welcome to Sergeant's Time, WTF Nation Radio. Oh, let's just jump right into this. Okay, so we got an update, and I'm kind of like, but we got another update. Apparently there was some big drama, big feels going back and forth about the government shutdown, and it looks like just a triple double check again. It looks like it's been avoided. Sort of. Kind of. Because we have three different versions of the same story. I know there's been creators out there that have been talking about how did it go, or is it going to happen? Only a specific amount. So for what we got right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be an issue of a pay right now. It's just right now, as of an hour ago, Senator Democratic leader Chuck Schumer's office said a bipartisan funding deal has been reached to avert a government shutdown. GOP leaders, Senate leaders are now working a schedule to vote. So all the stuff about not getting paid and all that. Because remember, guys, we had that little rigmarole about maybe us not getting paid, and then all of a sudden, bam, the administration paid the troops, which everyone said no, that's not going to happen. Do I want to build an Iceman? That's a good one. I like that. So what's up, Mike? Yeah. So again, so far, and we were ready. Talking to some friends, we were ready. I was ready for some memes. I was ready to throw some memes out. Are we gonna have? Does that mean that, you know, is AUSA gonna is it gonna? I'm just trying to think what thing was happening within the army that AUSA was gonna bail out the army for, but then the troops were, you know, we just have resources. I don't think there was ever, as a matter of fact, let me just double check one more time, so that way I'm not providing you guys with false information, misinfo, disinfo. If the Army ever put anything out about it, if they did put something out about it, it will be news to me, because I was just running across the notes and I didn't see nothing yet. So let's just, again, truth in telling. Let me see. No, I don't see anything. Don't see anything. Matter of fact, let's wander over to the Army's page. As a matter of fact, let's see. Nope, don't see it. I don't see it at all. All I see is the see for this one right here. No. Let me show you guys what you guys let me show you guys what I see, so that way you guys can go, oh yeah, see, I saw it on W.T.F Nation Radio. There was a post that I don't know if there was a post that they posted, because I know a lot of people like to speak on shit that we didn't say that lately has been getting people butthurt. So this is the last post that we saw from the U.S. Army. As an hour ago, Sec Army is in Turkmenistan. So yeah. And we got the 2026 Best Medic competition winners. Team 1, first place, Team 15. 7th Infantry Division, Sergeant Matthew Winters and Staff Sergeant Colby Cat. Might as well just give him a shout out, right? There we go. Let me give him a shout out. Let's give these guys some shout outs there. There you go. 7th, so it's Team 15, 7th ID, Sergeant Matthew Winters and Staff Sergeant Colby Kapsner. I hope I said that name right. Second place, Team 16, 75th Ranger Regiment, Sergeant Matthew Stover and Sergeant Vincent Barbadoro. Third place, Team 4, 4th Infantry Division, the Ivy Division, Staff Sergeant Larry Brewer and Captain Brendan Opolinianato. There you go. So there's their picks right there. So congrats to the teams. Shout out. I know medic stuff, man. That's tough. That's tough stuff. It's almost like super EFMB or something like that. So again, going back to what I was saying, I really didn't see anything updates from the Army when it came to the. Let's go back again. We got Turkmenistan. That's all we got. Not, hey guys, I understand that there may be an issue with the government, possible government shutdown. Here's what you could do. Blah, 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 blah. Notice that several for the troops organizations weren't very for the troops in their messaging. So I'm just kind of curious to see, okay, now what? Exactly that cause. Exactly that. They'll just kick the can down the road again with a continuing resolution, and then we'll be right back to the same position. It's like, I don't even think they want it sometimes. Sometimes I think they purposely do this just to, I don't know, fuck with the troops or some shit like that. So anyways, nothing I've seen at all. And that was as of an hour ago, according to CNN. So that's the news. That's the news on the government shutdown. Are we going to get paid or not going to get paid and all that? Yes, I did pull my t-shirt out of a basket. I was like, you know what? What's this t-shirt? Like, oh, I'm going to wear this t-shirt. And then I'm like, man, this is my old uniform, one of my old uniform shirts. So there you go. Sergeant's time. It's appropriate, right? Wearing Ranger panties, wearing a t-shirt, and there you go. I don't know what to tell you guys. We'll just have to see what happens. We'll have to see. Keep up on the news. Follow C-SPAN. Follow all the major try to keep your head above the political drama with the mainstream media, and then you'll be fine to get all your information. But that's what we got so far. I don't know what to say. If we're not going to pay the troops, if the troops aren't going to pay, trust me, there's going to be creators and social media pages and articles being thrown out or whatever. But again, we didn't see any pre-post stuff. Again, I was like, what the hell? Is there going to be any messages about it? No. Nope. So, hey, we understand that blah, blah, blah could possibly happen, and this could happen, and that could happen, and we understand that maybe this will happen and all that. But here are some resources in the event. And of course, AER always follows through on their stuff. So there it is. I think that's all I wanted to talk about that. Okay. So we had the town hall, the Army senior leader town hall. And, of course, not everybody watches the town hall, but now sound bites are now coming out of the town hall. Man, people are mad. People are like, there's fighting amongst the senior NCOs from what the SMA said. And the SMA said something about master sergeants and the shirking of your responsibility being a first sergeant. Now, some NCOs were like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. You need to be for. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what he said, and then let's discuss. Because I think it's kind of like, that's a good point. I mean, he's got a good point. And then please go inside in the comments and add your what's up, man? What's up? Hey, stumbled by accident? You stumbled? Well, wait. What's up, PIQ? Yeah, some of us are still trying to dig out of the snow to play. So anyways, let me play this video of the SMA at the Army Senior Leader Town Hall, or it was a Senior Leader Update. And again, a lot of individuals were really catching it because obviously nobody wants to sit through or didn't have the time to sit through it. But now content creators and social media creators are picking this up. And this is from Darren Parker. And this got, man, this is some of my retired buddies, some of my current serving buddies were, woo, man. So let me just show you the vid, and then I'll stop talking, and then you guys give me your piece.
We're headed down the road where you're no longer going to be able to opt out of competing to be a first sergeant. I'm not sure where that came from in the first place, but the ability to opt out from a leadership responsibility, again, that doesn't mean you're going to be a first sergeant, but it means you're going to be looked at by your leadership at the brigade and battalion level as to whether or not you should be a first sergeant. We have way too many, remember, we have all the numbers. This is one piece where data is very, very trustworthy for us. We have all the data on what our E8 strengths are by MOS. And there are some E8s shirking their responsibilities in the United States Army right now, and there have been for a little while. That's why we have so many appointed E7s with diamonds, but not being paid as E8s. And those days are over. And so you'll be seeing some updates here in 26 where we should lessen that. Now, I'm not saying there won't ever be the requirement. Every formation's a little bit different. Manning cycles, things happen, and there will be the need for a really kick-ass E7 who's been identified by their leadership to step up and fill that gap. But right now, across the whole Army on the active side, that hasn't actually been the requirement. So,
discuss. I got this in my personal inbox, my own DMs. What do you think of this? This is some bullshit. They can't make us be a first sergeant. They can't make us be blah 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 blah. So how can this happen? How can the SMA say this? That NCOs are shirking responsibility. Is it a shirk of responsibility? Is it some of the questions that, or some of the dialogue back and forth, some of it is that they need to wait their time. The sergeant first classes that are high speed, that they need to wait their time. They think they could do the job. This will open up the window. This will open up the opportunities for that leader who's not ready to be a first sergeant to be a first sergeant in the seat. It's just like an E4 who doesn't want to go to the promotion board or attend BLC. Yeah, okay. But I will say that one of the comments that some of the feedback that we got, or that I got when I was talking to some of my NCO homies, that they were saying that a first sergeant is a lateral promotion, not as a promotion to specialist to sergeant. It's a progression of rank. It's not a progression of rank. It's a lateral appointment. So how is it that one can be done with the other? Now, I will say this, is that there are some master sergeants that are good as master sergeants. They're good as whatever, battle staff function, or OCT instructors. They're just good at it. And you would know that this individual, and you've all run it. I mean, come on. Even the officers, even senior NCOs, even within your peers, you'll say that guy makes a good instructor. That guy makes a good technical expert. But now this individual wouldn't be a good first sergeant. Like, would you put somebody like that who doesn't have the innate ability to be a good leader in that? Then where do we go from there? You mean I can't follow or get out of the way? Again, I'm just now, mind you, I'm just grabbing the feedback. I personally am not saying this. I'm just because I'm going off of some notes of what individuals have told me how they felt about it, because they wanted me to talk about it. I mean, literally, I wiped out some of my Sergeant's Time stuff just for this, because then I got a lot of, like, over the last 24 hours, and then right before the show, hey, man, are you going to talk about this stuff about being a first sergeant? Did you see what the SMA said about being a first sergeant? You guys, he's saying we're shirking our responsibilities. This is messed up. I don't want some punk E7 who thinks they could do blah, 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 blah. He needs to wait his turn. Do you think that changes what the non-commissioned officer professional development model should be changed? So in other words, we have specific models along our PD, what we call a PD model, our professional development model that goes a specific way. It has to be done this. In order for this, you get that. Also, there's a DA PAM that is set up that has us in our MOSs on what it takes to be promoted to the next rank. When that happens and it doesn't happen, is it not going to happen? And it was funny. Oh, I just got this in. Hang on. Thank you. Ooh, man. Hang on. Let me pull this out. That's a good point. Hang on. I just double check. The Marines now. The Marines are now doing this. The Marines are now allowing their the Marines. I'm not too familiar, but from what all my Marine homies that I talk to, there's a different track on how to go. You could be like the leadership track, the operational track. You go to Master Sergeant, you can be First Sergeant, whatever. The Marines are now starting to do what the Army does now, which everyone's like, oh, well, who cares? It's not a big deal. So the Marines went into a new position and a new development model for their NCOs, so that way they can become a First Sergeant. And these are this started, I think it was like effective January or something like that, from what somebody was telling me, is that they've been selected through what they call the E8 redesignation pilot. This E8 redesignation pilot is a significant milestone to the Marine Corps because their master sergeants and their first sergeants, they have a different promotion method. I'm going to get for Marine Sergeant's Time. We're going to have a Army Marine Sergeant's Time in the works to discuss this type of development model and how they come about it, or how they came about it. So basically, it's now, as a matter of fact, this is what I got in the inbox. So basically, this is Master Sergeant Cord Bergen became the first Marine to pin on First Sergeant after being selected through the E8 redesignation board pilot. There he is, getting there, and then there's our homie Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps Ruiz. So we get a lot of individuals that. Thanks, Will. How will they implement this? What altitude will be keeping an eye on this? Well, see, that's the thing. Like the SMA said, there are metrics on there. I'm gonna all invited to that forum. Crayons will be served. Yeah, we'll get it'll be pretty cool. It'll be a yet raw moment. I'm gonna give you a little bit of personal history about myself. I, with another 8 persons in the Army, were the oldest serving time and grade master sergeants in the Army. However, we all had specific fields that it was okay to serve in those positions without being a first sergeant until it was time for me to become a first sergeant. Then I became a first sergeant. But it is Keith, it is that they have that, the Army has it down to that metric, to where they came down and said, this individual is in your formation and he's not been a first sergeant yet. Blah, 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 blah. Here's what he needs to happen. Blah, 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 blah. So okay, Roger, got it. I couldn't go and I guess I had to stop deploying. I guess I had to stop doing, other stuff. And I'll be a first sergeant. And I became a first sergeant. There were specific gates that they had. Now, I going back to the shirking of the responsibilities, there was a lot of master sergeants got butthurt. You need to talk about this. Why is he saying that master sergeants are shirking responsibility? That's why I'm asking you guys. Do you think this is a shirk of responsibility, or do you think it's a my time, should be your time? It's not your time. Because I'll be honest with you, the Army is like the Sith, man. There'll be always somebody to replace you. A master and apprentice, right? There's always going to somebody be gunning for your spot. There's going to be, just when you think, and not, I'm classified as senior. Yeah. Yeah. There are, I didn't think I'd ever see it when someone's like, oh, politics are being a this and this is this. Like, that's no way. Oh yeah. I've walked into conversations of people talking about other people when they're talking about me too. And I'm like, I'm right here, dude. You can just tell me about it. It's cutthroat for individuals to want to be a first sergeant. Now, I said, well, if you want everybody to not shirk the responsibility of being a master sergeant, start. You never knew that NCOs get butthurt? Oh my God, they're some of the most sensitive individuals on the planet. You'll be surprised. So lawyers, doctors, and senior NCOs always get butthurt. When you talk about, or content creators too. Anytime you say anything about them, they'll take offense to it. So I commented and said, well, in that case, then the SMA needs to start with his building, his HQ. Start with the HQ and then start with commands. Because like I said before, there are commands that have those NCOs that are great where they're at. You just got to let them go. Or set up something. You're going to have to revamp the professional development model. I will say this. I have been in units where I have seen an outstanding professional development model of where you should be in a specific assignment to be considered, MOS qualified or qualified to do this. Again, it's along with the DA PAM. And I have seen them. I've seen outstanding. I've seen other ones that just, okay, well, we just don't have a first sergeant. And I think that's where the SMA's point is at. We just don't have a first sergeant. Meanwhile, you got like 4 or 5 E8s that are always with their hands in their pockets, telling everybody what they should do, and then blam. That, there's a poor sergeant first class who is the first sergeant of the company having to deal with individuals on the staff that don't want to be first sergeant. I have seen the development model in some career fields go that once you become a sergeant first class and you're a platoon sergeant, and then once you become master sergeant, when you're promoted to master sergeant, then you are sent up to battalion staff, or depending on where your situation is at, either battalion or brigade. Once you are in those positions, you spend that time and that staff until a position of being a first sergeant slot position opens up. And then they go, all right, Master Sergeant so-and-so, even though you're not you might be the S3 NCOIC, or you're not the whatever, future ops or whatever, because there's some units that have more than one Master Sergeant in the 3 shop, or in the battalion staff. All right. Here we go. There's your turn. Position's opening up. You're going to become a first sergeant. Do you say no? Do you not? I mean, do you just say no? I don't want that. You just do not want to do that and all that. And I think that's the frustration point the SMA is saying. You get put in a position just like when you get put on an assignment. Your orders come in, PCS, you're going to be doing this. You get to the unit, what am I going to be doing? You're going to be a platoon sergeant and blah, blah, blah. You don't say, no, I don't want to be a platoon sergeant. No, then I think the E8 who runs the fastest gets to be the first shirt. Yeah. I've seen that model. I've seen, and that's mostly in SOF, it's different. There's an actual manning conference. There's a national conference that they have where all the senior leaders will sit down and discuss, okay, here's all the NCOs in the organization, and here's what we're going to have for these specific grade plates, and then the grade plate being, for instance, E5 to sergeant, sergeant to staff sergeant, sergeant first class to master sergeant, sergeant major to CSF. It's all broken down like that. That's what grade plate range is. Because you'll say, hey, what's the grade plate range? You ever hear grade plate? That's all the business stuff that the Army's trying to bring into the NCO Corps to professionally develop us. I've participated, and that's how I became a first sergeant, was a manning conference. Was a conference that said, all right, this old ass has been doing whatever at SOCOM and doing whatever in 1st Armor Division and doing whatever on other staffs. Here he goes. Is Jump Master qualified? Yes. Has he done this time? Yes. Is he doing this? Yes. Okay. Chop, chop. You're going to be a first sergeant. Congratulations. Ken Ramos, you're going to be the first sergeant. There you go. That's how you do it. Now, within SOF, there is that problem as well. Guys I don't want to do that. There are other individuals that say, I would rather be a detachment sergeant, in a PSYOP unit or a civil affairs unit or, team sergeant in an ODA. I'd rather do that than be a first sergeant. Well, I mean, special forces companies have sergeant majors for their companies, and then they have their HSCs for first sergeants. So the question is it a shirk of responsibility, Or I'll be honest with you, and this is just from what I've seen in my experiences working the inbox, talking to other NCOs out in the field, sitting in LPDs, doing unit discussions and whatever with W.T.F moments. I always see that. That's a good question. How does affect senior ranks and MOSs that traditionally have very little leadership positions? Like exactly. I was about ready to say JAG Corps, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of career fields have equivalent first sergeant time, quote unquote, for their specific, because a JAG office, would that be considered? And that's what I think the SMA was getting at too. There's probably going to have some restructure done. Like, for instance, there are in some organizations, a company commander can be commanded by a major, and that is a field grade time or whatever. The same thing with a platoon leader, like in aviation, could be a captain. Or being a detachment sergeant in a medical facility obviously has the same KD time for an officer as it would be for whatever. So that's a good point. I would like to see what the PD model would look like for those types of what do they call that? Special secondary or special MOSs, special staff MOSs. You have the JAG Corps, the freaking the surgeons, the medics, and all that. Wayne says, for master sergeants avoiding the diamond, sergeant majors avoiding the Reese, officers have the same farm field command roles. Again, some of it is position as well. How many positions do we have? How many positions do you have in your organization for a first sergeant to be in? How many positions do you have for those leaders? A lot of it too. The only first sergeant position for a JAG NCO is a schoolhouse. Yeah, that's good. See exactly that. That's a good question. The master sergeants avoiding the diamond, sergeant majors avoiding the Reese. That's the thing as well. I was never a CSM. So for me, I went where I went, there is an actual shortage of ops NCOs and ops sergeant majors than there is more of CSMs. CSMs will come out of a class and they'll be put in positions. I know most of it, and I don't want to be controversial here, but a lot of it is commanders are afraid of relieving some of these guys because they don't want to mark on their fucking organizations, and those are the ones that are clogging up the flow on our professional development model. There are NCOs that have that known to have had cases against them that the organization will say, I don't want to pull him. I don't want to relieve him. I think that this will be a bad mark on our unit, which I never understood that. If an organization wants to enforce the standard and wants to be the steward of the profession, you would think, hey, we just found out that somebody was fucking one of his troops or messing around with somebody else's troops while he was a leader. But hey, guess what? We're going to make him a first sergeant. Not to name names. I was a PSYOP dude that gladly took a first sergeant position in a BSB, while deployed with. I'm about to say, that's another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up, Mickey. How you been, bro? Me and Mickey served together back at Bragg. And there was a lot of, a matter of fact, Mickey, I'm going to bring up your case if you don't mind, your situation. There was a lot of individuals that had said, if you go out there, you'll never be a first sergeant. You'll never go out there and do this and do that. My man Mickey goes out to out in the West at JBLM. What happens? He takes they offer him the position. Hey, you're fucking high speed, dude. We need a hard charger like you. Do you want to be a first sergeant? Hell yeah. Took a first sergeant position outside of his career field. And that's another thing too. Opt out. I'm glad the SMA said that about the opt out. If a position for first sergeant comes up and you want to be a first sergeant, go be a first sergeant in that position that's open up within that division or organization. Just to see what happens, I guess. I don't know. You never know. There might be an infantry battalion that has a sapper as a first sergeant in the company, and it might do fucking awesome. My man Mickey took a first sergeant position as a PSYOP guy. Rocked it. So again, I'm curious to see how this is going to roll out. I'm curious to see how we're going to go about doing this program. And also, I can't wait for the Marine Army. I don't want to say Army Navy because they don't have first sergeant standards. Army Navy, Army Marine Corps Sergeant's Time session because I can't wait to talk about how that's gonna work out. So it used to be a separate board for CSL. You had to apply for leadership being selected. I opted out. I opted in for the tough roles, and I wasn't afraid. Yeah, exactly that. Same with me. I opted in for everything. I did the same thing Mickey did. I want it all. Send me. Oh, you're gonna go to the 1st Armored Division, or you're gonna go to 25th ID? Yes, do it. I'll go. Obviously, my future was written, differently, so I didn't become a CSM. I didn't get to go do the CSM stuff. But yeah, I'd have been the same way, Rain. Just the same thing, exactly that. It used to be a separate board, but again, I don't think you should be opt out. Anyways, I think you should just be in. Just like I was saying before about a duty position coming up. If you're going to be PCSing to take in a position to be a platoon sergeant, and you know you're going to be one, you can't. That should be an opt out. That is your selected duty. That's it. You're going to be a platoon sergeant. There you go. Good luck. Bye con Dios. Make sure you talk to your PL so and get a ball of tape. I really don't think that it's a jab at master sergeants unless it fits. Does that make sense? If you're shirking the responsibility, and when you finally have it's time for you to go, and you have a mentor come to you and say, it's time for you to be a 1st sergeant, it's time for you to go this, knock this out, do this, and do this, and do this. You've always wanted to be a 1st sergeant anyway, so bam, there you go. Go. Well, I'll help you out. It's kind of like the thing. But then again, I've had other friends in the NCO world that said we should just bring back specialists, ranks. We don't have to worry about freaking senior NCOs when we have specialist ranks. They're not responsible. They're not whatever. And I even got bolder and said, well, if they were going to have specialist ranks, then those specialist ranks should be able to track to being a warrant officer. So that way only warrant officers are in charge of the specialist ranks to keep that technicality. So they're not leaders. They're not in leadership positions. I just have a feeling we're going to have a revamping of the way we do our promotions from master sergeant to 1st sergeant and how we're going to do it. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be and there's like somebody here brought up earlier, GTO Dad said that the only position for a JAG NCO is the schoolhouse. So does that mean positions are going to open up, change the paragraph and line number for an organization and where a 1st sergeant should be is going to be added? Blah 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 blah. That's why we have warrants. Is that why we have warrants, to do the technical stuff, or you just have warrants to take care of the specialists? Is that what you're saying? I'd rather have the I don't know. It'd be kind of cool having having a whole different corps. I'm gonna tell you what. There are some kids that I know. And Mickey will tell you, there's some soldiers out there that are just fine where they're at. They're just perfect where they're at, and actually would hamper them and be a detriment to themselves and to the Army if they were put in charge of troops. Outstanding soldiers in their field that are technical, and they're fine where they're at. That's why I think bringing back specialist ranks would be kind of cool. It would balance it out, me personally, because then those positions now are turned into hard strike positions for whatever. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Now, am I mad about what the SMA said? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, he has specialists and warrant officers working together. Sounds like a Marvel movie. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly what, like the Avengers or something like that, Infinity War? There was an idea of bringing together a group of extraordinary people or something like that, right? I'm not mad at all. As a matter of fact, he brings up great points. There are also individuals that, I don't know, that move around, that know that something like this is going to happen. And some individuals, going back when, like what Wayne said, going out and opting for the tough roles. There's individuals that don't want tough. I would rather bring back the warrant officer corps. You ain't lying, John. I'll be honest with you. You go to any command. And you walk around it. The guys that are currently in other commands and whatever. Master Sergeant selected whenever a platoon sergeant or squad leader, so they don't have experience. Hard to teach some there quickly. Their NCOES sucks. Yeah, that's another thing too. Ooh, that's a good point. We'll get to that in a minute. Wayne. How many times have you gone to a staff to go do something, whatever, for your organization, and you see an NCO that's been there for like forever? What are you doing here, man? How long you been up here? You find out individuals that have been in organizations for 3, 4, 5 years even have not went down the line, have gotten comfortable with that. Meanwhile, there's individuals that are down on the line, busting their ass, paying their dues. So again, we have a professional development model for a reason. I think if you follow on that professional development, if you are a staff sergeant or a buck sergeant, you are a squad leader. Bam. If you are a sergeant first class, you are a platoon sergeant. Blam. Master Sergeant, I'm gonna go back to Wayne's comment in the chats. Master Sergeant selected whenever a platoon sergeant or a squad leader, so they don't have experience. Hard to teach some of them quickly. Their NCOESs suck. Then that's where we need to change. They don't call it NCOESs anymore, Wayne. They call it NCOPDS. And so it's an education system. It's professional development system. My English has been off today, man. I posted some tweets on it. Like, even somebody asked me if I was okay. I'm like, why? He's like, look at this tweet. I'm like, oh shit, dude. I speak like, a couple languages and shit. So freaking. So sometimes I speak in the language all backwards and reverse and repetitive and stuff. But you're right. Some of those, when I heard MLC, which is the Master Leaders course, that's where we have all the eights going, and that's where you learn raw. That's where I thought that was part of that would be like an assist to be a first sergeant. Hey, what's up, Spanky? Spanky's in the chats. HHD first sergeant is a glorified baby, sir. Oh man, Spanky being a baby first sergeant. 1/3 NCOs, 1/3 unit training, 1/3 experiences. Yeah, but I think when it comes to the fundamentals of, like, for instance, we don't have at least that I've seen or not experienced of what somebody has at least said. We don't have here's how you set up a talk. Here's how you set up when you are a company. This is your job as a first sergeant in requesting support from the battalion, because everybody knows the battalion is there to support the companies. Hot take. Here we go. GTO Dad. Hot take. These quote-unquote non-leader leaders are a byproduct of a super fast promotions during OEF and OIF. People using how many people they got promoted as an NC. Oh my God. Tell me about it. GTO Dad, you bring up a good question to me that I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think that the goal, or I should say the stigma, or I should say, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, you have those guys that say, I'm a 5 and 5. You have, I was promoted, I was part of a first sergeant and this so fast. I was sergeant first class, 7 and 7. I mean, even though me and Mickey were promoted, to E8 like 12 years and stuff like that, 12, 13 years. I mean, but we had a bunch of experience behind it. I was, I would just say, I was just curious, if that makes it, does that make it any worse when you have NCOs that are promoted quick? Does it make it any better when you have NCOs promoted quick? Now NCOs is writing skills. It blows. Yeah. Then again, have you seen right now, but Wayne, have you seen how we get into the inbox? Have you seen NCOs, how they write, their, exactly. Have you seen how they write? You done good. Have you seen them write reports? Have you seen them write counseling statements? I mean, I think the writing portion we kind of need. NCOs need to learn how to read and write. NCOs must read also for professional development to understand, history, and part of being stewards of the profession, right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I was like, I know Mickey was pretty quick, but me, I don't know. I don't exactly pin it down. I don't know. I was like, I look at one of my DA photos. Yeah, some can't even read. I'm gonna get to that too. All I know is I had like 3 or 4 stripes on my shit when I was a master sergeant for the promotion board when I had to do a DA photo. Mickey was a little bit more high speed than me. Wayne, you remember this? Some of you old timers remember this? The TABE test. You guys remember that? You guys remember before an NCOES that any soldier had to attend, they had to do a reading and writing comprehension test before they went in. Before the school's NCOs got even scheduled. It was called the TABE. Matter of fact, let me look it up. To give you guys down a trip down memory NCO lane. It was a big deal. As a matter of fact, the TABE test was one of those things to where you that is read and write English. Yeah, in English. Yes. The Army used to have a TABE test. It was a test that tested your comprehension. And if you didn't make like a whatever rank you made, or you didn't get you didn't get it, then it was a test of adult basic education that the Army used back in the day to assess the academic skills of recruits to determine their eligibility for training programs. It was then involved and included on our, back in the day, NCOES, now called NCOPDS, to evaluate that NCO candidate to go attend to an NCOPDS school. So you had to, at a certain level, you must have this score on your TABE test. Again, test of adult basic education. And there were people that failed it. There were people that did not make the standard, that did not get enrolled in school before it was dropped. Exactly that, John. There's dudes. These dudes write like they've never seen AR 20-50. Depends on the soldier. A lot of these guys got promoted way too early. I meant hard charters, 1-for-1. There'd be, for one of those, there'd be 10 guys who just thought they deserved promotion. Exactly that. I'm gonna tell you what. I always, we get it in the inbox all the time. Is we'll have individuals that say, "Hey, I'm trying to get this ready for the board. What else do I need to do? Did you do Soldier of the Month? Nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that." Well, that's what you need to do to stand out, because you're just going to the board. If you go Soldier of the Month and you get Soldier of the Quarter, and then you do Soldier of the Year, blah 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 blah. You get out there. And also they give you promotion points. They give you awards. Blah 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 blah. They give you opportunities, to attend certain events. Just do it. And also programs, leadership programs like the Sergeant Morales or the Sergeant Audie Murphy program. So it's like an ASVAB when you are already in. It's like an ASVAB for you to make sure you've done good. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that, Mickey, exactly that. We had to take a TABE to attend language school in SWIC. So it's like you had to understand, you had to speak English. So there's individuals that really had issues, comprehension English, then they would work on it. They would get an extra class. And that's why you had the BSEP stuff and all that shit. So yeah, there was like actual, and there were people that were like, no way. I don't know why it was dropped. As a matter of fact, TABE test Army discontinued. I wonder why. It dropped. Mickey would tell you, I have to speak English. English is not my first language. Let's see. Where was it at? Bro, I got this nerve. Whoa, hey. Corey, whoa. Well, what's up? Bro, I got this 32 curve monitor and your nose is huge. Well, thanks, Corey. I know I got a huge nose. I've heard the nose jokes. One of them was, hey, does your nose come off with your glasses when you take it off? Why you got to hate on me with my nose, dude? What's up with that, Corey? Now I'm exactly that. Now you got me. Now I got a complex with my big ass nose. I already know I got a big ass nose. I swim on my back at the beach and people see a shark. Yep, we got rid of the SGT's. That's another thing too. How could you be a first sergeant in an organization when you suck at your MOS? But then again, being a first sergeant is different when you're not really working your MOS stuff. You're more of the admin A babysitter, like you said. I remember for being out for so more and being grilled, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly. Definitely German, thanks. Und ja, I am half, so, yep. Did the Army ever do a written MOS competency exam like the Navy does? That's what I'm saying. The tape test, you had to answer specific questions and all that stuff. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring some professionalism to the senior ranks NCO PDSs. So that way, senior NCOs know how to write. Everyone's like, oh, this sucks balls. How come I got to do this? You know, I need to know how to do this. I need to no. Now you're in the senior side. You got to read right. Because we've seen, matter of fact, we have an award that we're going to post. It's going to get posted on U.S. Army WTF Moments. It's going to knock your sock. It's going to be like, what? You just see why. It has nothing to do with NCO. It has nothing to do with comprehension, but I think it has to do with the seriousness of how you write evals. And this is for an individual who was going to be, who was submitted for a Silver Star, and then you look at his NCOER, it was a success block, and that's going to get posted soon. I was like, what? That's why I have my autofocus disabled. Oh my God. Ice has a big nose because he spends all day sniffing out the Army's bullshit. Oh my God. Tell me about it, John. Woo! Yeah, that first sergeant scenario about the troop stuff, that was the fourth ID shit that I was talking about. But, oh shit, that was other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have SQT. So if in order for it to be competent, and that's the thing too, right? A lot of the guys that are, and this is from a book that I read, when somebody's hua is a mile wide. I know I don't say hua much. Hua is a mile wide, but an inch thick. That's why I think tools like that, the SQT, tools like that, the TABE test, learning how to write and all that should be brought back in. Why do you think it's called staff NCO on the S? That it's just as for looks? I don't know, man. Like I said, but there also has to be some level of temperance and you're going to have, dude, some tolerance as well on how long somebody could be at the fucking staff position. This staff positions that individuals are in, it's because, and this has always been a complaint. We always go back and forth. Again, talking to some of my senior NCO friends and that are still in and talking about it. It's like, you need to freaking, you need to send your best up to the 3 shop, to the staff, to the battalion or brigade staffs. You don't want shit bags up there because, no. It's all perpetual. It's a big cycle of life. If you have a shitbag soldier, you go through the proper procedures to either chapter him, UCMJ, whatever, or let him get Q and P'd out. That's it. That's all you have to do. Don't send the staff somebody that's like, oh, I got about ready to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. No, keep them down there. You want the battalion staff to have top-notch troops that know what the hell they're talking about, know what they're doing. You need to have a an S3 and an ops NCO that is competent and trained to teach the little crew and the freaking battle captains. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Corey? What's up, Corey? Long time no see, man. Corey reading in the chats. Congratulations to retirement. Yeah. So, yeah. I love my 3-time, man. Oh, I loved it, man. But anyways, 36 months should be appropriate time for you to be up at the 3 shop. About 18 months is when you're going to be like, all right, where do you want to go? So that way you can tell the organizations, all right, I got a sergeant, I got a staff sergeant, I got a specialist that needs to go down the line. If anything else, you shouldn't be having too many specialists up at the staff anyways. All those troublemakers, you ain't damn right. A bunch of, yeah. What are you talking about? I love my hood rats. My hoodlums. So yeah, I really think that there has to be some tolerance there. Again, some MOSs, some units are already doing that. They're already doing that to where if you only serve a certain position during a specific amount of time, then you need to go out. If you are, like I said, there's people that I know that hide out almost 4 years, 5 years at a big Force Com, TRADOC, whatever. They're all being changed anyways on their names. That have just stagnated out on purpose. They want to collect a check. They don't even fucking lead. They just, oh, yep, got what I got going. Nah, 36 months, you're done. Good point. Good point, Wayne. Shitbags are for L&O roles. I'm an L&O. No, you're not. You're the unit's messenger. Go talk to Captain. So go talk to my boy Corey, and he'll tell you what to do. He'll tell you who to talk to on this, Mr. L&O. Exactly that. Exactly. No, you do. Actually, you're right, Corey. You do learn a lot. You learn a lot in any battalion or brigade staff because you see how the rest of your organization's going. And I really think that sometimes the hustle and bustle of CTC rotations, deployments, and all that, people forget to sit down and take a knee. And hey, Ken, you've been here too long. You've been at the organization. The S3 needs a body. You want to go up there? Here's what you're gonna do. Go talk to Sergeant Major so-and-so. Go talk to, like, roger that. Speedy Ramos goes up, reports for duty. You know, I go up there. Yep, that's it. So yeah, it's something to help. It's something to help prevent burnout. Because like Corey said, you learn a lot. And also you see a different style of leadership. You see a different style of how to work the staff. But when it's time for you to be a first sergeant and the time comes up, it's your time to go do it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Hey, this is your assignment. And here's the thing that makes me mad about not putting, again, I'm just getting some of the feedback, but for me, here's what makes me mad. Here's what makes me mad about that is that, to go back to what I was saying, if you use the systems in place, I don't want this guy as a first sergeant, but I have to send him down there. You don't know that. Send him. Go be a first sergeant. See what happens. You might realize that individual might be the best first sergeant you ever had. Or you got those ones, again, who are being a mile wide and only an inch thick. Oh, I can do this, I'm a hard charger, blah, 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 and absolutely fucking suck. Well, you relieve them. See ya. You don't have to, like, move them, because then that individual is going to affect the organization in other ways that is going to make it worse. So move them along. All right. Hey, man, you're not going to do it. You reflect, you get relieved or whatever. Hey, man, it's not going well for you, blah, blah, blah. All right. The time that you have to be a first sergeant is 24 months. All right. There you go, man. See ya. That's the minimum time in some MOSs. 24 months, what they call KD time. Professional development time for you to be a first sergeant before you can be selected, or you might be like an ops sergeant major, or you might be in position of an ops sergeant major, or you might be going to an HSC or an HHD or HHB, whatever. So of course you have that time. If you don't get, hey man, good job, appreciate it. You go up there, hey, range control needs an NCO or something like that. And obviously you're not going to get that question, but don't be a bitch. Corey can relate to this. Sit down with your NCO and tell them what's going on. Don't sit there and talk behind that NCO's back and what you think is going to happen or not going to happen. You tell that NCO, hey man, here's what's happening. I need this, this, this. Here's what happened. Great job being a first sergeant. I'm going to move you up to do this, 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 this. Battle staff is a tough role. You need competent people for assess. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. And if you're going to, here's just me, everybody. If you're going to go to a staff and you're a staff sergeant and above, on route, like, hey, okay, you're not going to be a platoon sergeant anymore. You're going up to the 3 shop. Here's what's going to happen. Go talk to schools. They got you positioned for battle staff, and we have 2 Sierra positions that are in the battalions. Guess what? You're going to take a break for a little bit. You know, you want to take some leave or something like that? You want to take a pass or something like that before you start school? All right, yeah, okay, cool. Well, how much time you want to take? All right, I'm going to tell the Sergeant Major, hey, Sergeant Major, this guy wants to take some leave before he goes. We're going to send him to battle staff. Is that cool? Because he's going to be at the staff. He goes to battle staff, comes back, bam, his time starts at the 3 shop. Oh, I love working in the 3 shop. I have operations and stuff. Oh, that's my jam. Spring a little first sergeant, time in there too. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I had. Oh, and you know what? You learn a lot. You learn a lot about your military equipment when you're on the staff. You actually know how long a generator runs before it blows the fuck up, right? Everyone has that fear. You know, that wake up fear, like when you're like, someone's like, oh, I can sleep and all that, but as soon as the noise stops, it wakes me up. So like with me, my wake up is I'm in a tent or something like that, or I'm in my sleep tent, and all of a sudden, you hear people walking on the rocks. They're walking by you, and then they stop. because in your mind, you're like, okay, they should be walking past. Or when the generator shuts off and you wake up and it's freaking 1,000,000 degrees in your sleep tent because you're out at, freaking North Fort Hood. So again, there's got to be a lot of involvement. And I hope the SMA has some sort of senior NCO, sergeant major, first sergeant council, or something like that. Please include your soldier for life, because I don't get it. How is it that the officers get to have a general mentorship program with senior retired officers, but we don't have that shit? I want some of that. I'm more than happy. I mean, I did it when I visited Fort Bragg, back at Bragg, hanging out with the PSYOP kids. They smoked my bags when I was lane walking with them. Holy crap. Yeah, that would be awesome if we had some sort of NCO mentorship program to do that. But I digress. So tell me what you think. I personally, I don't feel, he did the horror there. The SMA's got good points, but he's also, I think, needs to go down in the weeds to find out in his building at the Pentagon, at Department of the Army, at Fort Knox, at one of these big commands, at USAREC, at, TRADOC. I mean, I know I keep messing their names up, to find out what the holdouts are. Why aren't you a first sergeant? Why don't you want to compete to be a first sergeant? And I guarantee you, people are like, oh no, whatever. Because now the first sergeant positions now, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I was about to say, people are hiding out from being a first sergeant like they were hiding out during the GWAT. Or GWAT, I'm sorry. I know some people like to say GWAT. Yeah. I love being a first sergeant, even as a sergeant first class, but I was a signal, and those soldiers are special. Gotcha. Yeah, I have no regret. My first sergeant, it is the experience that I will never forget, ever in my entire military career. My entire military career was down to those specific months that I served, and you're like, God, lots to learn. Some shit that I'll just like, I never want to see this one. I never want to see these motherfuckers again. Not in the company. I'm talking about higher. Or people who have led me or been around me. Outstanding mentorship, but there's some I could pick one or two that I'm like, man. And of course, there's going to be some individuals going to hit my DMs. Hey, man, were you talking about me? They know who I'm talking about. So I think one of them's retired already. So again, we'll see what happens. We will see what the SMA comes up with. And I would hope that the SMA would open up some dialogue, just like generals open up dialogue with their retirees, their retired leaders. What does it take to be a first sergeant? What have you seen to be a first sergeant? What does it help out? Do we have some sort of council? And then go visit the force. See what happens. I guarantee it. He'll be surprised. I mean, like he said, he has the data, he has the numbers of individuals that have been in this position all this time and then have not gone away or have not seen any first sergeant time. So. I don't know. Oh man, Mickey's trying to poke the answer out of me. So I want to make an announcement. I know. I appreciate everyone's talk. Again, always hit us up at Sergeant's Time. Sergeant's Time has its own page. If you go to the page on Facebook and you'll see the highlighted page, it's its own page. First Sergeant's got a page. That page is slowly going to start growing to be Army-centric, more professional development. Some of the stuff that I don't capture, I don't grab in the podcast that I do every week. A lot more discussions and talks and more videos and short interviews and stuff like that you'll see on the Sergeant's Time page. And it's tagged on U.S. Army WTF Moments Facebook page and WTF Nation Radio's Facebook page on this post live as we speak. We don't have Twitter. There's no Twitter page. There's no Insta. It's only going to be like that, sharing professional document, professional readings and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about that because it'll get everybody, get everybody amped up to have that discussion. First sergeant, master sergeant argument is always same as CSM. Yep. Ooh, that's a good one, Donald. First sergeant, master sergeant argument is the same as a CSM SGM. I had an SGM tell me it stood for same good money. I like that. And I'm glad you brought that up about the CSM side of the house, because I tell you what, a lot of it's who you know. Everyone's like, oh no, there's a selection board that we have, and blah, blah, blah. Nah. I know all of us in the chats, all of us listening right now can definitely dial in on the fact that, yeah, that motherfucker got promoted and made a CSM and didn't do fucking shit. So yeah, I know that. It is, but different hours. Yeah. Being an ops major was fun too. For the short time that I did it, or, at any rate. So I have an announcement. Matter of fact, let me just double check the mail here. Just so that way I'm straight. We have a new show coming up. Now, a lot of shows that we do, we have, a different format, right? We have different formats for each of our shows, right? We have Monday edition was, commentary, discussion, arguing, talking about politics back and forth, and then it's all done. It's packaged up. Tuesday, of course, as a matter of fact, I might as well just do the guest graphics so you guys see what I'm talking about. Of course, we have, Pop Culture Warrior. Pop Culture Warrior is, of course, all the pop culture formats. And then, of course, Sports Bar, sports exclusive. Smoke Pit is exactly what it is. Smoke Pit stuff, kind of a very open format. FTX, of course, is the tabletop gaming. Weekend co-ops, they're doing the stuff, working with games. The King and Me, that relationships and, development stuff and all that. How to be a good person in a relationship, yada, 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 right? We got that. So I'm announcing today, we are going to have a Sunday show. Now, this show, I can't wait, because this is something that we've been discussed, and a lot of individuals have talked about, hey, how come you guys aren't going to do this? Or how come you guys, are you going to do this? Or are you thinking about doing that? So a lot of this that I'm talking to you about right now is feedback from you. This is a show format that you guys have asked for, and I can't wait. This is going to be fun. It's going to be, how do I say this? It's going to be a very interesting format to start off, because people are going to be scared. People are going to be concerned, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm excited. The new show that we're going to do, as a matter of fact, let me just pull up the graphic. The new show is going to be what we call The Reset. Now, The Reset is basically, and it's going to be with Dr. J, legit doc. Dr. J is going to be the host of The Reset on Sundays. I'll give you guys the details in a minute. So all the stuff that we talked about, behavioral health discussions, having good talks, and having real life feedback with behavioral health professionals, we've always had to make sure that we're not, we're not, how do I say this? We always talk about what we could do for behavioral health and blah, 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 right? I'm not a doc, I'm not qualified to provide, professional psychiatric assistance and stuff like that. That's not my thing, right? It's not I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not whatever. Only the pure stuff that we do. Well, Dr. J, that's going to be different. Dr. J, as a matter of fact, let me pull up her graphic. Might as well pull up her graphic too. I can't. I'm excited about this. This is going to be fun. Because this is going to rock. And you guys are going to like it. So I want you guys to take note and remember this address, okay? This email address. thereset@WTFnationradio.com. There's going to be some promos and stuff done. So I want you guys to write this down. thereset@WTFnationradio.com. And the reason why I say that is because Dr. J is going to grab this information and discuss it online, completely anonymous. Just like it's almost like a behavioral health inbox that she's going to have access to. So that way she'll be able to answer all your questions without feeling you have to reveal yourself or dime yourself out or whatever. Her name is Dr. Ariel N. Jordan. And I'm excited again because, like I said, this is something that you guys asked for. You guys wanted this. You guys, so there she is right there. Oh, I like that pic. Dr. Ariel in Jordan. Dr. J is going to be the new host of WTF Nation Radio's The Reset. And I cannot wait. So again, write this email down. thereset@WTFNationRadio.com. Because she's going to be a guest. Matter of fact, she's going to be a guest and shoot the breeze with me. And she can tell us all about it. And I know, and it's Monday edition stuff, but I'm excited about it because she's going to come on, shoot the shit with me, and then we're going to talk about her background and all that. Now, she literally is she is a doc. She is the doc. She is a PhD, LCPC, a therapist, author, and international speaker who helps people rebuild after life knocks them flat. She is an Army veteran and is a trauma-informed clinician, and she assists in working at the intersection of grief, trauma, and special identity and resilience. So she has a focus on military-connected individuals, first-generation high achievers, and those carrying invisible burdens. Can't wait. Dr. J, the host of the upcoming show, The Reset, on WTF Nation Radio. She's going to be leading real conversations, man. This is the real stuff. Unfiltered conversations about mental health, starting over, what it takes to heal while handling life, work, and the service. And then, of course, through Mission Redefined and Mindset Quality LLC, she offers therapy, coaching, retreats, and training to give people practical tools that they can actually use in everyday life. It's just like The King and Me, right? They come on there and talk about relationship stuff and all that. And I tune in sometimes too to watch. I mean, I love The King and Me. That shows. I mean, it's a very good and very informative. So she's also an author and international speaker, and she's been known for keeping it human, blending clinical expertise with story humor, and a deep compassion to meet people exactly where they are and help them with the next step right forward. Man, I can't wait. Dr. J, The Reset. Now, again, how do I contact her? How do I do this? If you have any behavioral health questions, I would say, and she's going to have disclaimers and all that stuff. Her stuff is going to be, again, the email that is there for you guys to send. She will not. That's an email between her and hang on for a sec. My stuff glitching. There we go. That email, the reset at WTFNationRadio.com, is between her and the client, her and the individual that is that she's talking. We at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio will have no access to that email. She is the sole person that has access to that email. And again, so she's going to come on February 2nd to shoot the shit with me. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. But she'll also be launching the show February 8th, 2026. So, what PhD and what? I just read it, dude. Well, I just LCPC therapist. She's board certified. I mean, matter of fact, don't worry about it. Just tune in to WTF Nation Radio on 2 February 2026, where she talks to moi about herself. You all get to know her. Y'all get to shoot the breeze and all this other stuff. Again, the email, thereset@WTFNationRadio.com. Ask your questions, behavioral health questions, get to know, blah, 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 anything and everything. Again, the staff at WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments do not have access to her email. So that's her email, and she'll be able to help out. So she's got all the deets. I mean, as a matter of fact, let me pull the it's crisis. I mean, dude, she has. I'll tell you what, she's going to be able to articulate all the behavioral health stuff. Like I said, I'm not a doc. I don't want to even talk out of my. I'm not going to talk in Dr. J's lane. I really like that, Dr. J. So again, 2 February 2026 on the Monday edition will be with me, and we're going to introduce her to the WTF Nation and to the world, And then, of course, we're going to talk about the launch. We're going to be discussing the launch of the reset. But we're going to be talking more about her and what she's done and her background and all that. I'm excited about it because this is something that you guys have asked. Hey, how come you guys don't have behavioral health? And CQ, station manager, has been able to fucking knock it out and get the get this started. I cannot wait for her to come on. So that was pretty much, I guess gave you guys a lineup. So we'll have a show every day. Man, there will be shows and podcasts, multi-formats, 7 days a week. And we've not even started because we're also broadcasting on different platforms, right? 2 Facebook pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments at WTF Nation Radio, 2 YouTube pages at U.S. Army WTF Nation Radio. And then, of course, at X at WTF Nation Radio. But we're going to increase our lineup more. There's going to be some other lineups that Facebook won't allow us to do. It'll get going on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube at WTF Nation Radio. So again, I can't wait. So make sure you open. I always thought, for sure, Dr. J had a show. Yeah, exactly. No, right there. I was about to say Julius Erving, exactly that, NBA player. That's why I said it just flows. Dr. J, the reset with Dr. J to help you dunk on that trauma. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm looking forward to having her come on again. So make sure you tune in. You're going to see some promos on all the platforms. Some memes and stuff like that. Probably, hey, maybe you should tune in to WTF Nation Radio's The Reset. So I cannot wait again. So 2 February 2026. And she's going to be joining me in the Monday edition. Of course, the launch of the show, The Reset, pop that champagne, boop, boop, 8 February. And there we go. It's going to rock and roll. I'm just so excited. So I think I covered, that was kind of quasi freaking housekeeping too, right? I think we're good to go. Anybody got anything else? Anything on the First Sergeant stuff and Master Sergeant stuff, please hit up the inbox at WTF Nation Radio or hit up Sergeant's Time as well. See whatever. If you got any feedback or input or stuff like that, we'll post some stuff as well. Joe says, I miss being a First Sergeant. I look for new spots, but they kept putting Sergeant First classes in. And you're still, whoa, man. See right there. SMA, you tuning in right now. Joe Miller says, I miss being a First Sergeant. I look for new spots, but they kept putting Sergeant First classes in. I'm still sitting in a Master Sergeant slot. How long have you been in that position? 36 months? If you've been in that position for 36 months, get out. Or maybe, here, let me help you out with some information operations and some PSYOP. Start posting on your social media. That's right. And just say that too. Man, it would be nice to be a First Sergeant. I'm a Master Sergeant. I want to be a First Sergeant. Sucks that I'm in this Master Sergeant slot though. But you got to tell, hey, I've been in this position for so long. Use social media. When we got soldiers throwing their boobs and butts on all over social media, nothing's happening to them. So what's the worst that could happen? Anyways, make sure you share, like, and follow. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And again, thank you guys for hanging out. This was a good banner. And again, of course, this is Sergeant's Time, U.S. Army WTF Moments, WTF Nation Radio. See ya. Shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Driving us insane. ATF zero dark 30, no time to complain. Push ups in the mud, feel the muscle strain. Army life is a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Tops in the desert, sandstorms in our eyes. Memories for breakfast, no room for lies. Running watches through the night under starless skies. Brothers and sisters, we rise. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. in the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Drill sergeant fury echoing in the air. Discipline and duty we all must bear. Battle bodies by our side in the fight we share. In the face of danger we dare. Army life, it's a wild ride. W.T.F moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. It's W.T.F moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Zones of firefights, adrenaline's rush. Silent nights, broken by the enemy's hush. Medics on the move in the heat of the crush. In the heart of battle we trust. It's W.T.F moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle army lane. It's a wild ride. W.T.F moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. Memories in our mind. Brothers lost but never left behind. Army W.T.F moments in the stories we find. In the army's embrace, we're forever entwined. It's W.T.F moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Through the smoke and the flames we rise again. In the heart of the storm we find our sin. Battle buddies by our side, our men. In the army's legacy we transcend.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.